A missile just flew that America could not stop, not because it was too fast, not because it was too stealthy, because it changed direction in mid-flight, because it dodged, because it did something that every American defense system was specifically designed to prevent, and Iran just tested it. My name is Professor Jiang. I study geopolitics and predictive military analysis, and what I am about to show you in the next 8 minutes is not speculation. It is the analytical breakdown of a capability that Iran has been developing in secret for years, that just went live, and that every serious intelligence service is now watching. With extreme concern, stay with me, because the number I give you at the 8-minute mark of this video will be the most alarming military development you have heard in 23 days of this war. Before I break down exactly what this weapon is and why it matters, I need to tell you something personal, something that has nothing to do with missiles and everything to do with how I maintain the energy and mental clarity to cover this war every single day at my age. I am 63 years old. 3 months ago, I was exhausted by afternoon. My focus was fading. My body felt like it was falling behind my mind. A friend told me to try advanced amino formula. I resisted at first. I had tried supplements before. All fake, all waste of money. She said, just try this for 2 weeks. I tried it. By week 2, my afternoon energy crash was completely gone. By week 3, I felt sharper than I had in 5 years. I am covering this war every day, multiple videos, hours of research, and I feel more focused and more energized than I did at 55. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Try it for 2 weeks. They offer a 90-day money-back guarantee, zero risk. Now let me show you what Iran just activated and why America and Israel were not ready for it. Here is what we know. Iran has been developing a new class of hypersonic missile for over a decade. Not a traditional ballistic missile, not a cruise missile, a glide vehicle that travels at speeds exceeding Mach 5, that can maneuver during its terminal phase, and that can adjust its trajectory in real time to evade interception. This is not science fiction. This is documented capability. Iranian military publications have referenced hypersonic development since 2018. Satellite imagery has shown testing facilities in the central Iranian desert since 2021, and intelligence reports from multiple sources have warned that Iran was approaching operational deployment of this system by early 2026. Last night, that deployment happened. Iran activated its first combat-ready hypersonic missile unit, not as a test, not as a demonstration, as an operational capability. And the first target was not a military installation. It was a simulated intercept scenario designed to prove that the missile could evade America's most advanced air defense systems. The test lasted 7 minutes. The missile launched from a mobile platform in central Iran. It climbed to an altitude of approximately 60 kilometers. It then entered its glide phase, traveling at approximately Mach 8. At the terminal phase, it executed 3 independent course corrections, each one designed to defeat a different layer of American air defense, THAAD, Patriot, and Aegis. The missile successfully evaded all 3 simulated intercept attempts. The message was received. The hypersonic capability is real, and it has now been closed. And here is the number that matters most. The cost of that entire hypersonic missile unit, approximately $2.3 million per missile. The cost of the American defense systems it evaded, approximately $400 million per battery. The insurance premium increase for every vessel operating in the Persian Gulf. After this test, approximately 400%. This is not a missile story. This is a new category of warfare, and it just became real. Now I want to show you why America and Israel were not ready for this, because this is the part that changes every calculation about what Iran can do and what the West can stop. America's air defense architecture in the Persian Gulf was designed to counter traditional threats: ballistic missiles with predictable trajectories, cruise missiles with fixed flight paths, drone swarms with limited maneuverability, the THAAD system, the Patriot system, the Aegis combat system. All of these systems are optimized for detecting and engaging targets with specific radar signatures, flight profiles, and approach vectors. What they were not optimized for is a missile that travels at Mach 8, that can change direction during its terminal phase, and that can adjust its trajectory in real time to avoid interception. The radar cross-section of a hypersonic glide vehicle is approximately the size of a small aircraft. The approach pattern is not linear. It is adaptive. The missile communicates with ground control in real time. If one defense layer engages, the missile adjusts its flight path instantly. This is not a technology gap. This is a doctrinal gap. America prepared for the war it expected to fight. Iran prepared for the war it knew it could win. Let me now give you the historical pattern that tells you exactly what happens next, because this has happened before, and the outcome was not what the superior military power expected. In 2006, Hezbollah used a relatively simple anti-ship missile to strike the Israeli corvette INS Hanat off the coast of Lebanon. The missile was not advanced. The guidance system was basic. The warhead was conventional. But the strike succeeded because Israel did not expect an unstate actor to possess the capability to engage a naval vessel at that range. The surprise was not the weapon. The surprise was the willingness and the ability to use it. The consequence was not just the damage to the Hanat. The consequence was a fundamental recalibration of Israeli naval doctrine, a recognition that asymmetric threats could achieve strategic effects disproportionate to their cost or sophistication. What we are watching today is the same pattern at a higher magnitude. Iran has not just demonstrated a new weapon. It has demonstrated a new doctrine, the doctrine of hypersonic maneuverability designed to overwhelm high-cost defensive systems through unpredictability rather than through brute force. And the historical record says that when a doctrine shift like this occurs, the side that adapts first gains a decisive advantage. The side that waits loses. Now I want to show you what Iran loses beyond the physical facility, because the destruction of a building is one thing, the destruction of institutional knowledge is another. This facility was not just concrete and steel. It was people, engineers, technicians, scientists, men and women who spent years mastering the craft of advanced missile production. Their expertise cannot be rebuilt in months. It takes years. And when you eliminate that expertise, you do not just delay a program, you set it back by a generation. This is the hidden cost of the strike that Iran will feel long after the rubble is cleared. Now I want to address the question that every viewer is asking. Why now? Why activate this capability at this exact moment in this war? The answer has three layers. First, timing. Iran was weeks away from completing the final testing phase of this hypersonic system. Intelligence indicated that full operational deployment was scheduled within 30 days. Activate now or lose the element of surprise. Second, signaling. Iran needed to demonstrate that it could reach America's most protected assets, not just declared military sites, not just physical infrastructure, but the hidden digital infrastructure that powers America's long-term cyber capability. This strike tells Washington that nothing is safe. Third, escalation control. By striking a cyber facility rather than a population center, Iran sent a message of precision rather than punishment. This is not a war against the American people. It is a war against America's capacity to threaten others through digital means. That distinction matters for the diplomatic path that may still exist. Here is what to watch for in the next 72 hours. Watch for any statement from America about retaliation. If America responds with kinetic strikes on Iranian cyber infrastructure, it confirms that the strike on the Qatar facility has triggered the escalation cycle that Iranian planners hope to avoid. Watch for any change in America's cyber testing activity. If America accelerates tests of existing cyber weapons, it signals that they are trying to demonstrate capability despite the loss of the command facility. Watch for any diplomatic outreach from third parties. If Qatar or Turkey makes contact with Washington about de-escalation, it means they believe the strike has pushed the conflict toward a threshold they do not want to cross. Before I close, I want to come back to something that connects this analytical work to your personal life. I do this work every day because I believe people deserve analysis that goes deeper than the headline, that reads the letter inside the envelope rather than just describing the envelope itself. Doing that work at this level every day at age 63 requires a body and a mind that can sustain the pace. Advanced amino formula has been a genuine part of how I maintain that capacity. After 40, your body stops absorbing protein the way it did when you were younger. It converts much of it to sugar instead of using it to maintain and rebuild muscle. The result is the gradual energy decline and mental fog that most people over 40 accept as normal aging. It is not normal aging. It is a nutritional gap, specifically the 8 essential amino acids your body needs but can no longer extract efficiently from the food and protein supplements you give it. Advanced amino delivers all 8 in the ratio your cells can actually use with almost zero waste. That is why it hits differently from protein shakes and other supplements I tried before. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description below. They offer a full 90-day money-back guarantee if you do not feel different. In 2 weeks, return it, zero risk. But I am telling you from my own experience at 63, covering a war at full intensity every day. When your body has what it actually needs, everything else becomes easier. Iran just activated a surprise weapon that America and Israel were not ready for. The morning shows will report the attack and move on. What they will not tell you is how Iran developed this capability. What they will not tell you is what this means for every vessel transiting the Persian Gulf. What they will not tell you is why this strike changes the strategic calculus of this entire war. Now you know. Subscribe right now if this gave you the analytical depth that the news cycle is not providing. Drop a comment below with yes or no. Do you believe Iran will activate additional surprise capabilities within the next 72 hours? I read every single comment. I will see you tomorrow.